Movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Didn't you guys watch Original It?
I watched some clips of it today, actually.
No one here has recently seen the original
I
It?
watched the
Not
original
recently.
It at a middle school birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
you
I
guys.
kept my back to the screen the whole time because I didn't want to have a nightmare.
It's weird. I think man, it's kind of just corny now a little bit. Looking at it, not to say you shouldn't have been scared, Gina. I think you were.
I was in
right
7th
to
grade.
be scared in 7th grade. You know, it's fine. It's okay. You know, it's all right that you're scaredy cat.
Oh, it was a miracle I even went to go see this.
Where were you just at? Like, where were you when you were
We
watching?
saw it at Valley View.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it all goes back to Valley
Classic.
View. Yeah.
Valley
It was-
View.
Yeah, I saw it with Spencer, not Adam, though.
Mm.
We're talking about the old one right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But she
nope.
said it's a miracle.
Oh, I thought
Nope,
you said
I
the-
thought we were talking about the new one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the old one.
Never
Well,
when you were a
mind.
kid.
I was talking
There's
about
a-
old one.
Okay.
The transition to new one,
Oh,
but it wasn't explicit.
I'm really confused. I'm very confused.
That's fine.
Well, this is Super FilmsCast 64. How you guys doing today? We got a whole crew here.
Best believe it.
We got Adam Fullerton.
That's me.
We got Gina. What's your last name, Gina?
Sherrard.
Sherrard. All right. Like Gerard, but Sherrard.
Or Bernard.
Or Bernard. Sherrard. Gina Sherrard here.
Well, then it would be
Or-
Chernard.
Or Godard.
I don't
Or-
know that.
Bernard. Gina, you are Adam's lovely girlfriend, right?
Hey, what?
What?
What? Is that not true? Is
Easy
that
on the lovely there.
lovely?
bud. I'll take you out back and
Whoa.
show you the what for.
What?
I call my penis the what for.
Jeez. That turned very violent. And very weird.
Yes, I am his girlfriend.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to be labeled that or not. So I'm just trying to. I don't know. Like
I
So
don't
you just
know
made it the
anymore.
first thing that you mentioned about it.
that's you're just the girlfriend. That's why you're here. Not your opinions or anything like that. We just want just hey, you know. It's
Hey
the
Trey,
thing.
what did you say when I told you that she was going to be on the podcast?
Oh, I said no girls allowed,
Oh.
and that once we start having girls on the podcast, and we just get bears infesting the studio.
Oh.
Yeah,
Because of the menstruation.
He didn't.
Oh.
He didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
specifically, but that is
Specifically.
a
But you just did.
film reference.
That is a film reference.
Film.
Yes.
It was high class because it was in reference to a film.
Oh, a film. Yes. So how you doing,
It's
Gina?
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Trey,
It's
I'm
okay.
here too.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you're here, Gina. I'm glad you're here. You
Yeah,
know.
calm down, Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer, calm down.
Will you call me lovely?
I don't know now.
Spencer, how you doing?
Feeling lovely.
It's good to have you back.
Great to be back.
Just so great. So great.
Spencer's
Round
NPR
three.
in it today.
He is NPRing it.
Round 3. I'm
Round-
just putting on my customer service Spencer voice.
Oh man.
This is how I talk on
Ooh.
the phone. I don't
Oh.
talk on the phone very much.
I'd
but
like
when
to.
I do-
I'd like to get some insurance. Just could you help me out finding some plans, Spencer?
Surely, we've got a whole mess of options for you. What kind of insurance are you looking for?
Looking for car insurance.
Car insurance. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we have the minimum coverage provided, but that doesn't cover any sort of liability. So we're really what I think you want is the maximum. I don't know much more about
Gina,
insurance.
how you doing today?
I'm
You
doing
good?
great. How are
Doing
you,
great?
Trey?
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I was lying. I was kidding about the bear thing.
I don't know if you are.
I am.
We'll
No.
find out.
He's said it multiple times. I don't think he was joking.
He also said he didn't believe that
Knew
pandas
it.
were bears.
They aren't. Well, I guess they are bears.
I think they are.
They are bears.
DNA studies prove that they are bears. They're in the
Same
Ursa
genus.
genus.
Oh, like Gina.
Like
Genus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. This is going swell already, this whole podcast.
Well, host it.
Can we start over?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Hello and welcome again to another episode of Super Gamescast 64.
I'm only going to make callbacks so you can't cut out the beginning.
No, I'm not going to cut out the beginning. That's great. That's what people like. That's why they're here. They're here for the craziness.
Going to bring back that car insurance bit that everyone's
It was
gaga for.
God, that's going to win Emmys. It's going to win Emmys, that car insurance bit.
Deductibles,
Deductibles. It's
premiums,
that's what it's called. Yeah.
and coverage.
That's what Spencer has. So today's podcast, we're going to discuss two movies that actually Gina's seen both. One that Spencer has seen and the other that Adam has seen. Gina has seen both.
I've seen them
He's
both.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I saw it.
I saw it 2 times.
2 times.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can we put whenever we're referencing the movie It? Can we put like some sort of inflection
Quotations.
so we know we're talking about it?
Not
And
just
not
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
that's
but
what
it.
if there is a theme for the two movies we're going to talk about, it's just how horrible it is to write out on a text or a tweet. It and mother. Because
Yeah.
you have to put the exclamation mark for mother, and it's like, well, it's not the end of the sentence, but it's just, I don't know.
Have you
What do I
seen
do after
Mother?
that? Have you seen Mother? Then you have to lowercase the M, right?
But then,
Yeah.
then you have exclamation followed by question mark.
Yes, and
So
it
it's
gets
like-
really confusing.
So then it's like mother is missing
Yeah.
for sure.
hmm And then you have it, so you could just be referring to anything as it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really not very well thought out title by Stephen King there.
No, he probably should go back and change that, because he's just not very good, Stephen King.
There's
He
a
makes
few
lot
other
of
things he
mistakes.
may need to go back and change in that book.
Yeah, there is that one thing.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not
And
in
how
the
we
movie.
were bummed it was not included.
Spencer's just the guy that says everything that we're thinking, but he'll just say it.
Bro,
I'm not
Loose
thinking
cannon.
it.
Oh,
He's a
I
loose
just-
cannon.
I'm
He's a firecracker.
A
That's
I'm
regular
not holding
shock
any
jock.
punches.
a shock
If I
jock.
think it,
He's a pistol.
I says it.
It's a pistol. All right. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the movie It. We're going to talk about Mother.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to have some news. You got some news?
I got news.
You have Emmy news?
I did minimal Emmy stuff.
Minimal Emmy.
Emmy soccer?
Yeah, Emmy soccer meme lord.
And then we have
Update, still missing. Back to you in the studio.
Emmy news.
we have plenty of Twitter questions as well. I kind of wanted to preface this by asking a question. I remembered the question I was thinking about earlier.
How about that?
It's okay. So it seemed like there was a 3-year period where the 3 best supporting actor winners were 3 iconic villains. So Javier Bardem won for No Country for Old Men,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's his face won for
Heath Ledger.
Batman. Heath Ledger won for The Dark Knight, and then Christoph Waltz won for Hans Landis, and Javier Bardem and Christoph Waltz have both played Bond villains.
Okay.
I was thinking if Heath Ledger was still alive, would he be playing it? Would he have played a Bond villain, or would he have played a Bond villain?
I doubt it because he's not foreign enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's true.
That's
There
very true.
Ambiguously European.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Isn't he British though?
Yeah, but so is James Bond.
he is,
Oh, sure.
but he's not British enough.
Yeah, but he can play sort of that kind of chaotic character, though. He could do an accent.
Well, I think if he went through the process of the Joker where he embraced chaos and allowed it into his heart, that eventually killed him.
I think that's a myth. That didn't really kill him.
No, the Joker killed him, and he wouldn't have had a.
Then why? Okay.
The Joker claimed its victim.
Yeah.
Jared
why won't it kill
Leto
Jared Leto?
is
Just
next.
kill Jared Leto, please.
It's killing
He's
his
killing
career.
his own career.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh! This is why I like this podcast. We got good chemistry here. This is
Yeah.
great. I like this. Anyway, what are you saying about killing Jared
He
Leto?
wouldn't have had an Oscar-winning performance if he hadn't embraced the Joker and allowed it into his heart.
Do
and
you
destroy
really
him from
think
the
he won the
inside.
Oscar because he killed himself?
Well, either that. No.
Oh,
but
okay. Because some people do think that.
I think it definitely helped.
Oh, it helped.
I also think the Oscars robbing Brokeback helped him get that award. They're
Sure.
Like, no, here's yours.
Sure.
Even though wait, did they win for actor? Either of them for those roles?
I don't think they did.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe it's one of those things where it's hard to decipher which one's leading, which one's supporting, or something, so they don't give it to.
What
But
is
I
that?
mean-
Is that a pitcher catcher joke? Is that a man? Is that a? Never mind.
Can
Forget it.
Homosexual
that a-
fornication,
yeah.
I believe, is the word that you were looking for.
Is that a gay joke?
I want a drop of that. God, if you said that on the air, you would never
I
hear
would
the
not
end
be
of
on
that.
the air anymore. I'd be Gregoed. I'd be gone. But this is a podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Is Gregoed like what happened to Jake Gyllenhaal in Brokeback Mountain?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know who was top or I haven't seen the film. I don't know who was top or bottom in that.
You
You're
haven't
so
seen the film?
Huh?
You're
You haven't
so
seen Brokeback Mountain?
Straight. You
You're
haven't even seen
so
Brokeback
straight.
Mountain.
You couldn't even. Trey, what if I told you that there's a
So
lot of boobies in
close-minded.
it?
I saw Crash. And that was terrible. I think Brokeback probably should have won over Crash because Crash was horrible.
Probably. It 100% should have.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close.
I've not seen Brokeback Mountain.
Have you seen Crash?
Yes.
It's better than Crash.
I bet it is because a lot of things are better than Crash.
Only one of those movies has Anne Hathaway's boobies.
You know
in
what?
it.
I did see Capote. And that was a good movie. That was
That
up for
was,
an
but-
Oscar too.
Is there
Yeah.
any Anne Hathaway titties?
No
in
titties in that
No
Capote?
titties in Capote. No, there weren't titties in there.
You mind pulling out
Anne Hathaway was in Brokeback.
I don't care. I don't deal with Anne Hathaway anymore.
Ooh.
Oh.
What happened there?
Mm.
What'd she do to you?
They gave her an Oscar for Les Mis. That's what happened.
You know what
Oh,
that
what a
movie
bitch.
was? Lame.
So you give an Oscar to someone for shaving her head. That's
Oh, yeah.
all that was.
Yeah, think about
That's a lot of. I
Hilary
think.
Swank for Boys Don't Cry. That was Hilary Swank, right?
Yep.
She won?
She won for $1 Million Baby.
Yeah.
Did she not win for Boys Don't Cry?
I doubt it.
Well, she shaved her head in that movie, and they didn't give it to her.
It was a slow burn on the haircut. Nicole Kidman got hers for Black Swan after V
Nicole-
for Vendetta. Not Nicole
Not
Kidman.
Natalie
Portman,
Portman,
dude.
Yep.
Jeez. Show some
Yep.
respect.
They realized the error of their ways.
Yeah,
corrected
you're
it
right
later.
with that. I think I didn't like. I hated that movie. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it because I wanted to see Django Unchained,
Mhm.
and my family was like, "No, your sister bought us tickets to see Les Miserables. We're gonna see that." I'm like, "I want to see Django Unchained," and I was pissed off, so I hated the movie.
But she bought you tickets to a movie without asking.
It was like for the family. She had just like gone to California, so it was like a whole family thing. And
Was it on Christmas?
yeah, it was Christmas Day.
Because that's when I saw
Oh.
Django.
yeah.
Wait, did she
I
buy
was-
you tickets to the musical or the movie?
The movie Les Miserables.
So she
yeah.
went to California to buy you movie tickets?
No, she bought tickets for the family to go see Les Miserables. Like,
She
just-
returned home from
Oh.
California
Or you can just buy 'em
for
online.
Christmas.
you can just buy them
Okay.
online. No, she was still
I
in
was
California. She was out of
confused.
town.
Oh wait,
But like you can buy
Wait,
tickets.
she wasn't even there and she
No.
bought you tickets?
Yeah, for a movie I
as
did
like
not
a
want to see.
Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I don't want to see that.
I don't think that's that crazy. I'm
No,
on board with
that's
what
okay.
you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate. You know, guess who did see Django Unchained that Christmas Day? My racist grandma and aunt saw it.
Family,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, family, and you're thinking of buying me movie tickets without asking, ask.
Yeah. Thanks,
Don't-
Spencer.
God forbid you go to a movie you don't like.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you got a movie tomorrow. I hope you want to see it.
Enjoy American Assassin.
Oh God.
Brokeback Mountain won director, writing, and best achievement in music, written for motion pictures, original score. What a pretentious category name.
Yeah.
Achievement in music? That's dumb. Trey, what have you been watching?
So in preparation for Mother, even though the movie doesn't really have anything to do with Mother,
Yeah.
I watched Rosemary's Baby.
How did you like that?
I liked it a lot. I found it really creepy, even though it's a 50-year-old movie now.
Yeah.
It was still really creepy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the acting. It's interesting watching a lot of those old movies because you expect it to be a lot of the relationships to be very kind of old school, but
Mhm.
it was like, okay, I dug the couple. They seemed like they're like a hip young couple, and I believed it. And then it was a really cool movie. I was creeped out the whole time. I guess I didn't totally remember. I kind of knew how it ended, but I kind of forgot throughout. So it was kind of a cool surprise at the end. The eyes. What happened to the eye? And she's a great actress. That's Mia Farrow. She's great in it. And it's weird. I don't know if it's just an audio thing, but a lot of actresses have the same voice, or they sound very similar.
from that time.
Yeah, I don't know if
the
it's
acting schools they'd go to. They
Yeah.
teach you to talk in that
Really?
prissy way.
okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they all kind of have that same accent.
They're American, but it sounds like
Yeah.
they're maybe British.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
British. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I could see that.
It's kind of like how British singers sound American when they
Mhm.
sing. It's a singing coach
Okay.
thing.
Wow.
It's how they're told to form their letters and
Mhm.
sounds and all that.
That's interesting. I
The
didn't know
right
that.
way.
The right way. Yeah. So I think that's I don't know if I watched anything else. That might be it. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I have no clue what I did this last week.
Hey,
It's just a blur.
that means you must have had a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
No,
Time
not
flies.
so much. It's a lost life. Lost 2 years. Lost 2 years. Anyway, what have you been watching? Yeah.
Oh God.
What have you been watching?
I
Adam?
had a busy week, Trey. I watched a lot of things.
Yeah.
I watched Moana for the first time.
Okay. You know who? So I guess on Bad Radio, Justin was filling in
Mhm.
tickers, and he said that he watched Mulana, and they gave him shit for it.
Mulan.
yeah.
Mulana
Oh,
or
Mulana.
Moana.
Moana is what I watched.
Moana. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Moana. Because
yeah.
it's a kids' cartoon. You watch that? That's weird. Well, Bad Radio was giving him shit for it, and I wanted to defend Justin because it's a
I think at this point we all know Pixar is
Yeah.
worth more than just a kids movie.
Exactly.
That's an old man take.
yeah. It was very old man. Even Jake was though, but Jake's
Jake
kind
is
of an
the
old man.
oldest of the old men
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
And he's trying to justify his claim as one of the cool kids.
Yeah, he's not that cool. I love Jake, but he's
He's like, oh, what? I never posted a picture with my girlfriend on Facebook. I would never do that. That's so
he
lame.
did do that. Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his takes on what are and are not cool, I give no credence.
No credence to what's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Moana, it's good. The music's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda did it, and not that I've listened to a bunch of Hamilton or seen it, but from what I have heard, the rhyme scheme and like pattern and speed of everything, it sounds like it's all straight out of Hamilton. But the best part is when Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, he's a character and he has his own song, and it's just like a Flight of the Conchords song.
Hip hop eponymous. My rhymes are bottomless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sings about shiny things,
All right.
and it's pretty good. It kind of reminded me, kind of a lot of Hercules, like a better, a better story of Hercules. And there's a lot of fun things going on in there. You get to hear The Rock sing, which is
Sure.
fun.
Yep.
He limits his woman saying,
Yeah.
but he kind of does it in
Well,
other ways.
Yeah, non-directly.
Right.
He says it with his eyes.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm. His big old cartoon eyes. So I would say it's very good, and I would understand why parents would prefer that to some other things that they would make their kids watch.
What things are you referring to?
Well, I know that Frozen gets a bad rap.
Oh, gives a bad rap?
It does for repetition.
Oh, just like as far as like critically, it gets a bad rap, or
I'm talking about parents.
Wait, why does it get bad rap from? I thought that was like extremely popular. Frozen.
It is extremely popular, and it's the popularity that where you watch it a million times.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
And like it can be fine the first
I
time.
get what you're saying.
It has like themes that kids like in a way that's grating and very
Sure.
quickly. And
yeah.
I mean, I've only seen Moana once, but I feel
Okay,
like
I kinda
it
get what
wouldn't
you're
be the
saying.
same way.
I thought you
Also-
were talking about like I don't know. Never mind. All right, I get it.
Also, Moana looks great.
Yeah.
The water looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. I
there's-
always like good water, even in like video games. I always appreciate cool, good-looking water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that core hydration.
Exactly. For hydration water.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best water.
Let's see. I also, Gina and I went to go see a little movie called 9/11.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
yes.
What's that
I
about?
heard about that.
It's not about 9/11.
No.
Barely.
It's mostly about how awesome Charlie Sheen is.
It's got AIDS.
It's 5 people in an elevator for like 90% of the movie.
Whoa.
Do they know Charlie Sheen has AIDS?
Not yet.
Did they have to have some kind of paramedic on set? Like, who?
It gets a little hairy there for a second.
Yeah.
It's
He's just bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, for the first hour of the movie, I want to say the first plane crashes into the tower that they're in.
They're in the
an elevator in the tower that got hit.
So it stops
first of
the
all,
elevator.
I want to be clear: we were the only ones in the theater for this.
I saw that.
It was September 13th.
9/13.
Wow.
And
I've been trying to figure out I'm trying to always calculate, okay, when will I have the best chance to be the only person in the theater? And not because it's like this even though I've said in the past I don't like people in the theater with me, it's not like some antisocial thing. I just want to know, like, if I can do it.
Right.
And that's interesting because it's a movie not a lot of people are going to see.
Right.
It's right after 9/11. I'm sure people don't want to see a movie about 9/11.
Doesn't have that pre-9/11 hype.
It didn't.
Like, you're building up
2 days after.
You're building up to it, and
Yeah.
you're like, I'm getting hyped for this.
It's like watching Elf on New Year's.
It's a strange time, like the 16th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it's Charlie Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg does nothing in this
Really?
movie. Let's make that clear.
She needed a paycheck.
She needed a paycheck.
I have lots of notes because I just wanted to kind of like remember
Bring
things.
the notes on.
First of all, so the plane hits the tower that they're in. They're stuck in an elevator. It's Charlie Sheen, his wife, who he's about to get a divorce with, a girl who's obviously rich and
Has sugar daddy.
has a sugar daddy is revealed. Avon Barksdale from The Wire, and Louis Guzman.
That gremlin.
Yeah, a construction worker. So they're in the tower, and for a good hour, the tower being attacked by terrorists is at most an inconvenience. They're like, oh, God, how long is this going to take?
I'm going to be late for dinner.
Ow.
And, like, first of all, they don't know exactly what happened. And then they're like, oh, a plane flew into the building. And
God.
he's like, oh, I'm going to miss my kid's birthday.
I take that back. That's Whoopi Goldberg's only purpose in this movie is to talk to them through the elevator, to tell them a plane hit the elevator or the tower.
Yeah.
Other than that, she serves no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she hasn't since 1996. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I love you, Whoopi Goldberg. Come on the show sometime. We'll get you on.
We'll get him on. There's also a lot of like weird like time things where like they're watching 9/11 on like a tube television with like a dial, and then they get a call on like a rotary phone.
You remember these?
This is 2001.
2001.
Oh, man.
And
we didn't have anything back then.
Charlie Sheen's character's name is Jeffrey Cage, a billionaire.
Did he write this?
It sounds pretty much like he
it
did. He
seems
executive
like-
produced it.
This is
Okay.
a true story, right?
It's supposedly based on phone calls from the tower.
And these are
Way
the
to go,
things-
Spencer.
And these are the things they say. Go
Yeah,
on.
but there's no.
My name's Jeffrey Cage.
So
I want my face off.
so Charlie Sheen just kind of like knows all this stuff. He like feels
sure.
the weird shake, and he's just like, I don't know, man. Do you remember '93, the terrorist attack? Then it was super weird. And
I smell explosion devices at the bottom of the
basically.
tower. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
and everybody's like, what? How do you know all this? It is his wife is like, he reads 6 papers a day, even on Sunday, and then he's like, I do the puzzles.
Wait,
wife?
even on Sunday. Sunday is like the most popular newspaper
know.
day.
The wife is the woman from Face Off, though.
Really?
I wanted
Oh, yeah.
to let you know
That's
that.
true.
I looked that up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, it's Gina Gershon.
There you go. And your
Um,
name's Gina.
Another Gina.
Another Gina.
On
let's see some
Sunday?
other.
I love Face Off, by the way.
He has nothing
So
else to
good.
do.
I know.
As a billionaire, at one point, I guess I don't know what they're doing. I think they're just sitting around at this point. And Charlie
What
Sheen,
happened to the plane that hit the Pentagon? We can't find it.
well, they're in the elevator the whole time, so it's
Yeah.
like the most boring story you could
Sure.
possibly have. Of all the stories you could tell of first responders or people who are like
You could have
caught
been
in
so
flame
emotionally
or anything,
manipulative.
Yeah.
it could have been. And that was more of what I was expecting going in, was like a emotional story. But
So
no,
it seemed
it's
like
just
just cheap.
a
Just
bunch
to,
of. Oh yeah. it's super cheap because the only set they have is the interior of an elevator.
So they could have used a cubicle.
Wait, so Whoopi Goldberg is in this, but she's not in the elevator?
She's in a control room.
Yeah, so she's
and
like
she stays in the tower the entire time.
Yeah, she's like in an elevator control room that looks like NASA.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a tall building.
Right, and I don't know what her job would be on any other day. Just like making sure the elevator, there's just like a big chart that shows like what floor the elevators are on.
She's probably responsible for all those elevators that you see are like 2 floors away, but they don't come to you. The elevator that's 10 floors away.
That's her. Yeah.
That's Whoopi.
Okay, so there's one point when they're all just sitting around, and Charlie Sheen says, "My doctor asked for a blood sample, a urine sample, and a stool sample. I said, 'Hey doc, just take my underwear.'"
He's cracking jokes this entire 9/11 movie.
And this is all from a phone call.
It was just
Honey, I'm in the tower.
He's the slick, funny
but
guy.
I just slayed with this joke.
there's all kinds of smoke in there, but it's almost just like a video of smoke that's kind of just the opacity is lowered. And so there's like obviously not really smoke. So everybody has to like cover up their mouths because they're coughing, they have to be able to breathe. So Charlie Sheen takes off his suit and rips it up on the inside, and Louis Guzman's like, "This is probably the most expensive handkerchief I've ever had, man." And
he calls it a hanky.
Yeah. And he's like, "What is this, Italian?" And Charlie Sheen says, "No, American made."
Smirking in the camera.
It's just
This sounds terrible.
And then
It
he's
was
like
amazing.
Yeah.
saving people.
What was the movie with the guy from Twilight that was like, it was like a rom-com up until
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know
And
the
he
one.
dies in the
yeah,
end.
he died. It's like
It's the big reveal is that it's 9/11.
9/11 out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
yeah. Is this sort of like, is this as cheap as that, or is it
This
kind
is
of
way
worse than
this
that?
is way
Okay.
cheaper. And then
When is it okay to make like?
I think it's fine right like United 93
Oh, well,
is a
those are
pretty
serious
good-
movies though. But when is it okay to use it as a plot device?
Yeah, probably not as soon as God, that's going to drive me crazy that Robert Pattinson.
I know.
Yeah, you can look it up easily.
I'm
Water
trying.
for elephants.
No.
Water for elephants.
Get out of here. It came out the same year though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Robert Pattinson movies.
Oh.
Oh. So, and then Charlie Sheen is like helping the bike messenger Avon Barksdale out of the elevator, and he's just like stops him. And he's like, "Hey, have you heard the one where the billionaire hired the bike messenger just randomly?" And Louis Guzman's character has a gambling problem.
Oh, sure.
At one point, and that's I guess part of Whoopi
Well, hey,
Goldberg's.
you can gamble on 2006, the economy going to shit. Yeah! Economy jokes. Sorry.
The movie was called Remember Me.
Remember
Me. That's right.
Indeed.
Indeed. And so Charlie Sheen says, "When we get out of here, I'll take you to a casino where you'll win a whole lot more than you'll lose."
Like, we don't know what that's supposed to mean.
No. What
Maybe he's talking about like a casino where they have females.
But he never says it's. You would expect him to say something like, "I'll take you to a casino where you'll never lose." It's you'll win a lot more than you lose.
Well,
Very
it also
vague.
implies that the rich have casinos where they just win all the time.
Well, how you think
They set their
you gotta have money to make money.
the
and
the first
bada bing.
million's the hardest. After
Yeah.
that, you can just go to these casinos.
Yep.
So that there's a lot of weird
How does it
stuff.
end? Do they all die?
Only Charlie Sheen
and a firefighter. Because Charlie Sheen is so special, he has to
Heroic.
take
He's
a
a
firefighter
martyr.
down with him.
Yes.
He's the martyr. He's every man.
Everyone survived 9/11 because Charlie Sheen saved them all, right?
Yeah,
He's always like
He saved
putting
everyone
cigarettes in his mouth the whole movie too, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot I can't smoke in here." I was like, "It's 2001. You could never smoke in an elevator for that whole decade."
Man,
I mean, if there was a time where it was okay to smoke in an elevator, it's when it's already filled with smoke.
Yeah, true.
So I watched that.
Thank you for that review. We can just take off the It review now because that was so good. We don't even have to talk about Mother. We could. That's just 9/11. That's the title
All right,
of this
Twitter
episode.
questions.
Twitter questions. Something about a bean. Anyway, Gina, what have you been watching?
Well, we saw the same three
Oh.
movies this week. I saw
Okay.
9/11, I saw Mother, and I saw It.
Okay,
So you kind of have me
rank
up to
them.
speed.
Rank them right now. Don't give me explanations. Just rank. Rank them.
Number 1, 9/11.
Yes. Okay, that's it. That's all we need to know.
No,
Number
we're
2,
not.
It.
We're not ranking your favorite holidays.
Oh, man.
9/11, the Holocaust. Anyway, Spencer, what have you been watching?
D-Day?
Spencer brings out the worst in me, by the way. I feel like I'm more offensive since that he's here.
He stokes the fire.
He does. He does.
Oh
Spencer.
man, it's been a slow week for me. I've not watched really anything.
Yeah?
But my favorite show in the world comes back in 2 days.
Which one is that?
The Good
yeah,
Place.
You've been talking about that every time.
Premiere
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
Good Place?
Good Place.
It's on Netflix, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Season 1 on Netflix.
check it out, everybody.
Check it out. Bada bing.
Check it out. But yeah, other than that, been busy with other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you more about it off the air.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You sick?
Wow.
Serious things.
You okay?
Yeah, things are not going well.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Spencer, we hope that everything's okay. And yeah.
I got a hemorrhoid.
Oh,
God,
no.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh.
Well.
I've been
Do you-
spending like
I'm so sorry.
4 hours a day at Primacare just trying to get it.
Oh no.
You're
You
just
know
like, please, can you check this out again? They're like,
I-
sir,
Look,
it's
please,
gotten bigger.
please
Are
get
you
out of
sure?
here. And you're just like, I need it checked again.
I need you to just do your little doctor scratch on it. It's not okay when I scratch
It's
it. but-
itching, and I'm scared I'm gonna pop it.
Yeah, so that
I don't know how
so I've not
Netflix
been
work.
watching.
I've never
I'm
had
sh-
this ailment.
I'm sure there's something in the waiting room, though. At the Primacare?
What?
In the Primacare waiting room, I'm sure there was a movie
Oh
on.
yeah, they were showing The Land Before Time 3.
Nice. Yes. I always do the Brave Little Toaster, but Land Before Time 3 is great. Yeah. That's a good one, too.
Are you like the VJ for Primacare?
Yeah, I am. I sometimes put.
Choose them up.
It's
I
always
always
those
choose-
90s cartoons. Brave Little
Iron
Toaster,
Giant.
Iron Giant, Timmy the Tooth. Timmy the Tooth is a big hit with the kids.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, they're back.
They're back. I like
They're
it. That
Back
movie
is a
great.
great one.
That's
That
a
makes
great
you feel
one.
things.
I like, like having a serious injury and being like, I don't know, not the hospital. Take me to the Primacare. They always have such great stuff.
Secret of
In the
Nam.
waiting room, it's a good separator
Mhm.
between.
Yeah.
I remember-
Hospitals always showing movies like Crash or something.
Ugh.
Come on.
Trash
Those
movies.
Trash movies. Anyway, you got some news before we go
I
into
have
the
some
big two
news.
movies? Yeah.
I've actually decided to add a couple little things to the news that we're going to have every single week.
Okay.
First off, we're going to do the box office.
I like Adam taking charge on this show.
All right,
you know?
so box office number one was It, $60
Yeah?
million.
Damn.
Week 2, 60
Week
mil.
2, $60 million. So that's $218 million total. That's the biggest September movie of all time.
Also the biggest Stephen King movie of all time, I
9/11
think.
made $120,000.
Okay, I have a question.
Were the
Legitimate question.
Were the tickets like
Did-
$60,000 each?
What
What
What-
did y'all
it was a
pay for
privilege.
those?
what made more, Mother or 9/11?
Mother made more.
Okay.
By
good.
a nose.
Oh, really? Oh.
Not really.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
American Assassin was number 2. Trey, tell me everything you know about American Assassin.
generic. Do
Do you know anyone who's in it?
generic?
American
Yeah.
Assassin?
Birdman.
Yeah, Michael
Michael
Keaton's in it.
Keaton.
Okay, well, you passed my test more
Okay.
than you expect than I
I have
expected.
not heard of that movie.
Yeah,
Don't
$14
need
million,
to, don't worry.
but it's
You'll
something
forget
that I
about it.
feel like someone's like, "Hey, let's go see a movie,"
Oh,
and
yeah,
then they
it's
go and they look up at the screen. They're like, "American Assassin." That sounds like something I would like. It's just like the most.
It's either that or Mother.
Yeah,
Mother.
exactly.
Mother. Javier Bardem. He's a hunk.
He
Yeah,
is.
anyway.
Mother came in third,
He's scary. He scares me.
$7.5 million.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's-
what place?
Any other notables?
That's third.
Oh, really? Okay.
Those are the biggest ones.
Okay.
After that, there was kind of a big drop off.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna keep an eye on the box office. I think it's important
I like you doing that
For
because I
when-
thought about doing a segment like that. So thank you for taking charge.
for when we talk about, why certain movies get made and others don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to recognize that American Assassin made twice as much money, and I think that Logan Lucky still has made
Really?
nothing.
Logan Lucky was so good. That might be like one of the best movies that come out. Maybe the best that came out this summer.
Did you see Brigsby Bear?
I need to. I still haven't seen it. It left theaters before I really wanted to see it. So
Yeah, it was a pretty limited.
I'll probably
release,
buy it on DVD, download it.
You're gonna download it on DVD?
Yeah.
Buy
Download
it
to
on
DVD.
Blu-ray.
I'm gonna
and-
Brigsby BitTorrent it.
Whoa.
Wowee.
Anyway, what other stuff you got?
Let's see. Liam Neeson done with action movies.
I heard that.
What? There was he did an interview kind of recently where he was talking about he turned down some big action. Was it Indiana Jones or something that he turned? No, it wouldn't have been Indiana Jones. He turned down some big action role because he wanted to be a dramatic actor and he didn't want to. He wanted to be taken seriously, and then he turns into in his elder years.
Oh, like in the past?
Yeah. Like he turned when he was younger, he turned down some major action role. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
His reasoning for stopping doing action
old.
movies. I'm fucking 65.
Yeah.
was his actual quote.
He is getting old. He's always kind of looked that age though. Like he's always kind of looked 50 or 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Schindler's List
Mhm.
is like, this guy's gonna be action star in what 30 years,
Yeah.
20 years.
I remember seeing a movie where he Kingsley or
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, no. It was about some. I remember watching it in college. He was some doctor who did a lot of reports on human sexuality. Forgot what it was called, but he was in that. It was like a dramatic role too. He was pretty good in that.
Was it another movie that you talked about on a date?
No, that wasn't. That wasn't a date talk.
Yeah, so I
movie.
was.
That
I
was in
watching
my.
this thing
That was
about
in my
human sexuality.
That was in my feminist class I took because I
Oh.
needed 6 credit hours. So I took a.
Otherwise, you never would have taken.
Yeah.
it.
No, I didn't know what I was
No
getting
use.
into. It was fine. I didn't know what I was getting into though.
You needed 6 credit hours. You got 69. Hey.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. That's what. That's what kind of class I thought it was going to be. It was more of a.
What?
You
I
went
thought-
in
okay.
thinking, oh, lots of chicks down for
Look,
Trolling
this
for
was-
69.
chicks in
this
your
was like-
sexuality class.
Yeah.
Nothing gets chicks hotter than talking about how the patriarchy's kept them down.
You make more money than me.
That was the class I was in. I thought it was going to be like, hey, this is what an orgasm is, and it was a.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
It was a.
You thought it was like a masturbation tutorial class?
It turned
Feed
out to
the
Where
brain
is
be.
101?
the clitoris?
I was the only white straight male in the class, so yeah,
Boy.
Wow.
I got an A in it.
Hey, good job.
Yeah,
You learned
there
a
you
lot.
go. Anyway, more news.
Do you have to like jizz into a cup to pass or something?
I had to cut off my
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Liam
Man,
Neeson
being-
turned down James Bond.
Oh,
That's what it
really?
was.
Oh,
Yeah.
It would have been good, James Bond.
Would have been.
John Wick 3 release date May 17th.
Yay! Have you seen John
2019.
Wick? John Wick 2?
I haven't seen John Wick 2. I've seen the original John
Yeah.
Wick.
I haven't seen 2 yet either.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one, but for some reason, it's just like I was excited for the second one coming out, but then when it came out, I just didn't
Missed it.
see it.
It's
Yeah.
something that, like, when it's on a streaming service, I'd go see it. I don't think it is something that I was, like, dying to see in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Abrams, we talked about that he was rumored last week. He's
Now he
officially
is,
back
yeah.
on directing and writing Star Wars 9.
So it's like, why didn't you just do the second one? I don't know. Whatever. Who cares?
because there's a
I can't wait
there's
to
a
talk about Star
reason.
Wars. I can't wait to talk about Star Wars because I want to. I don't know about you or you guys. I want to watch the original. I want to watch all 6 before we get into seeing the new one or the.
That's what we did with Fast
You
and
did?
Furious before
Okay.
Fate of the Furious.
I need to watch all the Fast and Furious movies too.
Mhm,
We'll
you
wait
do.
until 9 comes
I
out.
will. Okay. I want to watch it because I want to talk to you about because I know you don't really like Star Wars.
I wouldn't say that's true.
Well, you don't like.
I'm not gonna
He's not a freak.
I'm not
Right.
gonna allow 2 good movies to blind me to all the problems and the rest of the series.
And I think I'm on the same boat where I'm not. I like Star Wars. If you gave me like a gun to the head, do you like Star Wars? Yeah, I like Star Wars. But I'm not. I'm not Ty Walker with a Star Wars tattoo.
right.
So I want to rewatch those because I remember watching them when the Blu-rays or the not the Blu-rays, the DVDs came out in high school, and
Mhm.
I kind of remember them being very similar to each other. Like it just I couldn't really because like with Lord of the Rings, I could tell you what scene happened in what movie, but with Star Wars, I'm like, wait, did that happen in the second one or the third one? I don't really remember. So I don't know. I kind of want to revisit. Well, I want to revisit those on this podcast, and we can talk about them and talk about Jedi because I never thought that was a bad movie, but I don't know. I guess you different opinion there.
Oh, you liked the pre-Porgs? The Ewoks?
The Ewoks weren't terrible.
They were fine for kids.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid when I saw it.
Right, that's the thing. And, like, when I watched Phantom Menace, I enjoyed Jar Jar Binks.
Because you're a kid.
Because you're a kid.
I enjoyed the pod racing because,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. You think anyone has a pod racer tattoo?
I bet if I look up right now, I could find
or Jar Jar Binks.
five people
bet
with
you someone has
Sebulba
one.
tattoos.
I bet you there's someone who has a Jar Jar Binks tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And
someone's got a
pod
Watto tattoo.
racing. Well, why wouldn't you have a Watto tattoo?
Oh, no, they don't.
If you're so good to your mother, Annie.
Nah, this is a fresh ink.
Oh. Yep,
Yeah.
here's a... Ooh, this is a pretty dank Jar Jar Binks tattoo.
Oh, gosh.
This tattoo artist has inked Star Wars characters from Yoda to Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Hey, Sebulba. All right,
Hey,
so,
that chicks don't work on me. Annie.
so J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. When are we going to have a Watto movie?
There's not going to be a Watto movie.
I want one. Get me a Watto movie, Adam.
This is kind of more of
You can play Watto, Adam.
What?
Yeah, you could play him.
Watto's a blue flying monster.
Yeah, we could have Adam play Watto and make our own movie.
Yeah, tell that to Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Never stopped him from,
You mean that chimpanzee?
Yeah,
Chimpanzee right on second.
That's exactly right. But except he's not a chimpanzee.
What?
He's just a
Ooh.
man on his hands and knees.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, keep going.
This is more interesting than news. So this year, movies, Logan, Logan Lucky, and Lucky are all... Lucky's about to come out. It was Harry Dean Stanton's last movie before he died. Logan and Logan Lucky both got 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, boy.
Lucky is at 100% right now, previously. So we have a chance of Logan, Lucky all getting 93%.
Logan, Lucky.
All having
Logan,
93%.
Logan,
Isn't that weird?
Lucky, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's a fun little...
So that's just a fun little tidbit.
just a fun little tidbit.
Did you know?
I hope that happens.
I hope so, too.
Emmy winners, Handmaid's Tale, Veep.
Liberal agenda, Hollywood propaganda, liberal agenda, elite Hollywood, liberal Hollywood agenda, liberal.
How do you rank award shows?
Oscars first. Then I would say Emmys. I always felt Golden Globes are weird.
I like
me.
the Golden Globes.
I like them too. You know what? Golden Globes might even be above Oscars because they give comedy awards. Yeah, they give awards to comedies, even though sometimes it's The Martian.
You're right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it above.
No, Oscars is cream of the creme, and then I would say Golden Globes. Then it's Golden Globes, right?
I would say Golden Globes are next
And then it's
because
Emmys.
I think it's the right time for movies. And then you also have TV lumped in.
Yeah,
And you kind of get participation from everybody.
and then probably Emmys third, and then you have like SAG awards,
Spike Sky's Choice Award.
Kids Choice Awards
Oh,
are
man.
up there.
I was waiting for when someone would finally say Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah, Kids Choice Awards, man. That's the
Orange
best.
Blimp.
Time.
Yeah, that might be number one Kids Choice Awards. I'm
They
sorry.
definitely have the coolest statue.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I want that. I want that orange statue.
Little
I
blimp.
want to nominate or oh my God, Shaquille O'Neal for the 5th year in a row. I look back at some of the awards like for like video games. I swear to God, Super Mario 64 was nominated 5 years in a row. It's like there are other games that came out.
Nah.
No,
Gina,
Just
rank your
nominate
award
that.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Oscars are my Super Bowl. That's all I care about
I'm
in
gonna
February.
stop the show right now if I hear that ever again.
Well, get over
I
it.
just don't like that term. I'm sorry.
I'll say it again.
All right, say it again, Gina.
No, I won't.
All right,
I
you can
hate
say it
the
again.
Golden Globes. I don't watch them.
You don't like them?
I think it's just cheap. You buy yourself a Golden Globe. They give those out like candy. It
Yeah.
means nothing. Anyone who wins one of those, it's in their cellar. No
Go
one
on.
cares about them. Anyway, I say Oscars, Emmys, then I guess Grammys.
Grammys are good. I didn't think about
fun to
Grammys and
watch.
Tonys. Yeah.
Grammys is cool because it's an actual performance.
Yeah.
It's that's why I think if you're kind of gonna rank award shows, I would almost put Tony's number
Yeah.
one if I cared, just because it's
You're a secret theater guy, though. I think you're a little bit of a theater guy.
Are we
little bit.
ranking the actual
like that's the award show? I mean,
the
this
actual
is
show
which one would
performance.
we rather
You mean?
watch,
That's-
or which
that's
one
what
do
it's
we
up.
Oh, I thought you were talking
hear
about
the
like.
most about?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about more like prestige.
right. No, I'm just it's whatever you want it to be.
Oh, okay. Sure.
You can rank them however you want.
Yeah. All right. Then Kids' Choice Awards, number one in my mind.
Definitely.
Spencer.
I think as far as which one is most likely to get me to watch it, I would watch the Oscars 1st,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then it's.
I have such a love-hate relationship with the Oscars. But
Right.
We can go on that some other time. Don't
right.
mean to interrupt you.
I still think. I feel like the Oscars get it right more than the Grammys do.
Sure.
In my opinion,
Oh yeah.
I think sure there's still like a lot of stupid stuff that they'll miss and whatnot, and there's room for debate, but Grammys gets it wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, it's almost like the People's Choice Awards,
Mhm.
the
Right.
Grammys, where it's just whoever gets
Right.
the most votes,
And-
and The Rock wins Best Actor or whatever,
Yeah.
which is fine. The Rock's great.
Right.
Madden wins
I would-
Best Video
that's
Game.
different,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like I feel like film is like in movies have changed obviously a ton over the years.
Yeah.
But not nearly at the rate at which music has
Mhm.
changed. But in the Grammys, you still have all these old farts voting on it
Yeah,
who don't understand. Or they just don't. They're not really up to date with what music is now.
Mhm.
So you get just totally wrong winners in all sorts of categories. So
Mhm.
it's a little frustrating, but it's still I'll still probably tune in once every couple of years to the Grammys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for Oscars, it's always, for me, it's like, and I guess it's a bias thing where it's like, well, my thing didn't win, so I'm pissed off this year. My thing
Right.
won. Like, Lord of the Rings won like 11 out of
But the
11.
Oscars is the only thing I care about.
Right, exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
if
I
my
care
person
about
doesn't
it.
win a Grammy, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, Beyonce didn't get it. She should have. But
Sure.
whatever. And the Oscars, I stormed out of your house. I was so mad that they were initially going to give it to La La Land.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had
that
to call
was
me.
funny. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
I was on the road driving home angry that I just stormed out of the house when they announced La La Land. And he calls me saying, they called it wrong. It's Moonlight.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was-
amazing.
Because I really liked Moonlight last year.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with Lexi. And I liked I didn't like really like La La Land a bunch,
It
but I
seemed-
enjoyed it more than y'all did for
Mhm.
sure.
right.
I haven't seen
We
either.
had
So-
hot
Yeah.
takes.
I
on
was
that.
I was upset that it won. I was like, that's not the best picture of the year.
Mhm.
And then it was almost like they were speaking to me. That was like, no, Spencer's not happy with this decision. Let's give it to his favorite movie.
Yeah, La La Land was sort of, it was kind of like, oh, of course that one, because it's Hollywood giving awards to Hollywood.
It's a circle jerk.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. Yeah. Did you want to do another news story while I maybe step out?
I have one last news story.
one last news story.
Yeah, this is the new segment.
All right.
Upcoming movies coming out this week.
Okay.
We have
I like this segment.
Lego Ninjago.
Okay. The Ninja movie, Legos.
Mhm.
Yeah, Lexi wants to know, what's a Ninjago?
It's
Be
the
careful with
the
that word.
ninja. It goes.
Oh,
Mm.
They move.
and it's also Legos.
Right. Lego Ninjago.
Hmm.
Lego.
Kingsman 2.
Okay. Not interested, but okay.
I'll see it.
2
Yeah.
sequels.
Two
Mhm.
sequels.
And then Battle of the Sexes.
Okay.
I'll see Battle of the
Yeah.
Sexes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We should probably figure out just like a rating system, a way to say
Wait, let's pick like what's our pick of the week?
Fuck, Mary,
You know,
kill.
pick of the week,
what is the pick? Is it what most people will see?
or just our favorite movie of the week, like what we're most interested in, probably.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah,
for
Battle
me.
of Sexes. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's split between Battle of the Sexes and Kingsman
Ninjago?
2 for me.
Oh yeah.
I saw the original Kingsman and it was thoroughly enjoyable. Like not the best movie I've ever seen, but a good
Mhm.
good popcorn flick.
Sure.
But
I'm
you
not.
also
seeing it,
love
so.
tennis.
Huh.
I do love tennis, but I know what happens in the Battle of the Sexes, so
They all die, right?
spoiler. Yeah.
It's a tragedy.
Serena wins.
Huh.
We all know it.
Cool.
It's about Serena Williams, right?
All right. We got 2 movies we all saw, or most of us saw. It, the Stephen King novelization of the movie It. I guess it's not a novelization because it is a movie.
Right.
Movieization.
Who directed it?
It's the guy that did Mama.
Oh.
It's like
She's Argentinian, is it? Or Argentine?
I don't know if that's true.
I feel like
It was supposed to be Cary Fukunaga from True Detective season 1.
Gazoo and Tight. Yeah.
Oh, you're making fun of his culture. I see.
Yeah.
I see what you were doing.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah. So, Trey.
What's the director's name?
I'm looking it up. Give me
God.
Do a radio
I'll
thing
bet
and
you-
cover for me.
Well,
You're the one who works in this.
I'll bet you $2
Field.
he's Argentinian.
So we all saw the hit movie It. It is based on a Stephen King novel that's like 1,000 pages long, and there was a, as everyone knows, there was a 1990 version with Tim Curry
Mm-hmm.
and
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
I share a birthday with Seth Green.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever-
February 8th.
Oh wow, you should tell him that one day.
Send him a note.
Yeah, send him a note saying we share the same birthday.
Andres Muschietti.
Muschietti.
That sounds awful.
Hey.
Argentinian.
Argentine film director.
I feel like he's not getting enough credit.
$2.
I never hear his name when they talk about the movie. It's always Stephen King. Stephen King.
Well, because it has to be Stephen King.
Yeah, but he directed it and he did a good job of directing, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same reason that Steven Spielberg's name is going to get put on anything that he just produces.
Yeah, sure.
Even if he doesn't direct it.
Right.
It's what captures people's imaginations.
So I feel like people are really liking this movie. I feel like a lot of people are saying that maybe Tim Curry's version was better. I thought that at first, but then I looked back at some of the footage, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know, man. I know I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but
it's
it's very different
thing. Like it's a different vibe.
Yeah. So anyway, let's start at the beginning. It's everyone's been seeing it. What's your guys' general first impression of it?
I'll let Spencer go first.
Okay.
My take, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can get into it, I guess later. But Lexi and I also rewatched the original TV miniseries before we saw the movie, and it's for me watching the TV miniseries. It's definitely different from the perception I had of it.
It seems like
From when I
rose-colored
watched it as a
glasses.
kid.
Yeah.
Right.
You have fond memories because you remember things differently.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can talk more about which one's better, which Pennywise was better. But overall, I thought the movie was really good. Really, really good characters. I think more and more directors are doing a really good job of finding young actors. And
I think so too.
And having 7 young actors carry a movie like they did, I thought was really impressive.
Gina?
I thought the children were great. I thought the movie was pretty good. I don't like horror normally, and I've saw this twice in theaters, which I would never do with another scary movie. But I thought it ran a little long. I thought it got a little in the weeds in some places. I would have liked it trimmed down a bit. But other than that, I thought it was pretty decent. I don't think it lived up to the hype, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that it's definitely getting more love than it deserves. It probably doesn't deserve to be the, biggest September movie of all time. But it's generally a downtime for movies right now. There's not a whole lot else out. There's problems with it. There's just the section and the pacing of it is super weird, where they just go kind of from character to character with their scare with no sort of common thread.
Right. And it seems like it's like you're talking about downtime, and there's just 3 of them. There's like it's the girl, then it's the kid with the asthma, then it's someone else. And
they're doing it where they'll go, okay, well, instead of every 10 pages having some sort of scare, we'll do every 5 pages for these, and then we'll have a little like dialogue, plot moving, respite, and then okay, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna do 3 more, and it's just super weird pacing to me. And I know that Cary Fukunaga was originally very involved in the script writing process, and I don't know how much writing experience he has, because I know he didn't write True Detective. He didn't write whatever the movie he did for Netflix, not Beasts of the Southern Wild.
Beasts of No Nation?
Beasts of No Nation.
Beasts of No Nation.
He didn't write that either. And so I don't know how much writing he did. I don't know how much of his script ended up in the final cut, but it definitely seemed like more, this would be a cool setup for shots. This would be a cool setup for scares, as opposed to a solid, strong narrative throughout. The kids were great.
Yes.
All the kids were super great. Georgie was
for the youngest.
really great for the youngest.
Yeah. I thought the standout, besides the Stranger Things kid, because he's great, and he's just great.
Ben Wolfhard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid with asthma.
Yes.
I thought he was hysterical.
He was my
good.
favorite. I was laughing the whole time he was on screen.
Eddie Spaghetti.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
I thought that guy's going to make it. Like, that guy's going to be a big actor one day. Like, he plays that kind of sarcastic kid really well.
Yeah.
I thought all the acting was good, though.
Yeah,
and I think the only reason some of them weren't as good is just because they weren't developed. Like, the black kid wasn't really developed that well.
The Jewish kid was
the Jewish kid wasn't either.
And it's a lot. It's very similar to that with the TV series, where there are, you have your more principal characters, and you've got other characters who are there, and they help, but they're not nearly as they're not given nearly as much depth.
Right. Yeah. In a 1,000-page book, you can go and give everyone kind of equal time, equal backstory. Yeah. But in a movie that does kind of drag as it is, to leave behind some stories is forgivable.
Yeah, it's going to happen. You have such a large cast, too. Usually in movies like this, it's not that big of a cast.
How did you feel about Jeff Bannister playing Bev's dad?
Yeah, okay. He did look like Jeff Bannister. Jesus. All right, yeah. That was creepy. I didn't know, it had to be like a sexual thing. He was molesting her, right?
Yeah. There are bad parents in this movie.
There are.
I thought that was made pretty abundantly clear.
Oh, no, I know it did make... I'm not questioning it.
I don't know. Let's hear his side of the story.
It was definitely... Hey, we got both sides.
He got
right?
an
Two sides
A
of
in feminist
story.
class, you guys.
I got an A. I could say whatever I want.
Nothing gets past you, Trey.
His neighbor said he was a great guy.
It wasn't look. It was never legally charged, so he can play.
Okay.
Football joke.
What's next?
No. I figured it was that. It was creepy. It did look like Jeff Bannister. Man, I thought the acting was great. I thought that was like you were saying, that there's been sort of a trend of really good child actors, I think, in the last few years.
I think it's. I really don't know how it's being done. I assume it's being more based on, first of all, probably more kids that are being just like channeled into acting, and like everything else with specialization.
Oh yeah,
these kids are acting nonstop, and maybe originally that wasn't what they did, and a lot of it they're going for less kind of traditional looking.
Yes.
They're getting more kids that look like kids as opposed to
model.
This
kids.
is gonna be
Haley Joel Osment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely. Those kids just look like regular kids.
I think more and more kids are also getting. I think they're probably getting better scripts, and they're getting better roles than they would have before. Whereas you have like the original kids from it, like the script is not as good, and then those actors, like the main kid, I can't remember, Billy. He's in like movies with Chuck Norris, and like just not really well thought out, well developed scripts that are.
And I was listening to like interviews with these kids, and they seem really intelligent. They're like talking about the process and acting with Skarsgård, and talking about this role I really went with it this way. Oh, this was amazing how we did this. And it was like, wow, these kids know their stuff. They're very intelligent. They're not just like you were talking about pretty faces. They're not just cute kids. They're actors, and actresses. Like they're really good. Yeah.
They're all 15.
15.
They're all appropriately aged as well. The older kids were 17.
The bullies.
Yeah.
The bullies.
I thought the bullies were great too.
They were good. They're
There's
generic
some bully
70s
stuff
bullies.
I could cut, but
Yeah,
I know it's like corny, but I'm okay with it being corny.
Bullies were way worse in the 80s.
yeah, they were psychotic
Apparently.
in the
Yeah.
80s.
And
everyone just
Jeez.
kind of chilled out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Speaking-
We'll
Now we
just
just
online
cyberbully.
we'll harass you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched the original one, since like, I think they were a lot closer to the novel in this one as far as the severity of the bullying.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
these bullies are so much worse than the bullies
The
from
last
the
bullies?
TV series. Like it's nuts.
Like
'Cause
the
you're-
carving in the stomach and stuff. Yeah,
Exactly
that wasn't
that.
in there. Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah,
that
was
because
crazy.
like if you recently watched, well, I recently watched like the TV series, so I'm watching the movie, kind of trying to line things up, and so there are things that happen, like the first scene with Georgie,
it went there.
where it just instantly is like, okay, this is what we're doing, completely catches you off guard because it's a TV series originally, so they can't show nearly that much gore. So it really sets the tone, and it just keeps on catching you off guard. So like when he starts carving that H into the kid, I can't remember that character's name is Belly. It's like this is nuts.
Yeah.
Ben.
Ben.
It's Ben from Soch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ben from
that's
Soch.
That's right.
You know what
Yeah,
I did
it's
weird thing I appreciated was that the fat kid, his character wasn't, he was fat, he wasn't eating all the time, because I always hate that when the characteristic, he's the fat kid, so he has to eat all the time, and that's all he is like, they don't ever say he's the fat kid, he's just a
Well, I mean,
nerd.
the bullies do.
They call him.
Yeah,
the bullies call him,
but like
ham
his
or
character
whatever. Tits.
isn't, tits. His character isn't him eating all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
Like he's not like, oh, I gotta get something to eat because I'm the fat kid.
He's
Yeah,
not
his-
like
That's what
huffing
we
and
do.
puffing on
Yeah.
his bike in the
Yeah,
back
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to keep
exactly.
up. Yeah.
His character more than anything is like,
Smart kid.
wow, smart kid. This
Yeah.
guy is writing poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a 15.
I feel
Deep.
bad that he didn't get
15.
the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
for
God,
real.
he was actually
Come on,
working.
Bev.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't know that he didn't.
Oh,
get
that's
the
true.
girl.
You're right. You're right. You got
This is only
part
chapter
two.
1.
Indeed.
So in the book, apparently, part of it and why the bullying is probably so extreme is that it can control all the people around the kids. And so, it's controlling the kid's
Oh, yeah.
mom that's not letting him leave.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or-
Okay.
Or her dad and making
Yeah.
him
Oh,
act
really?
up. And then I assume the bullies as well, and making them go to extremes.
Yeah, they kind of
It's
allude to
just
that when
a-
he kills the dad.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That, and I think they make it maybe even a little bit more clear in the original one that like the entire town is kind of just turning a blind eye to all of this.
Right.
They're ignoring it. Like when Georgie just goes, there's that pool of blood after he gets taken down, and the woman is looking down and just ignores it. So I've never read the book, so I didn't know that that's like it kind of making them turn a blind eye. But yeah, that's definitely.
And they kind of say like the parents can't really see everything that's going on. Like the dad couldn't see the blood in the bathroom and all that.
That kind of cheapens it almost, though, if that's the case, that it's controlling everything. So it's like, well, then all those parents are probably good parents, but they're being controlled by a demon. It kind of cheapens it. It's like, well, then I'd rather it just them being horrible parents.
I just kind of
the
saw
real
it as
troubles.
like their lives are terrible with
Yeah.
or without the clown.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about old Billy Skarsgård, right?
So I remember talking to you
Yeah.
at the improv thing, and you mentioned Curry's character, that he was more real. Like, he was real.
Yes.
And I definitely, like, that was in my mind, like, and I think what it is, I think Skarsgård's character is probably more of what Pennywise is supposed to be, whereas Tim Curry was playing it as almost a child predator.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's kind of the difference
Is it
between
John Wayne Gacy that did
Yes,
that? Yeah.
exactly.
between Nicholson's Joker and
Ledger's
Joker,
Mhm.
and I think that's kind of more of a reflection of what we want from films today, and I think that's generally reflected in the whole thing. Like the TV series, it was a lot more cartoonish and kind of wacky and weird, but scary in its own way. While this has to be dark and gritty and kind of.
There's
its
still
own thing.
some wacky in there, but it still has enough like creepy overtones.
It's really just unsettling. Like, I was like laughing, but like unsettling, kind of. You know, like, oh, this is weird.
The scene where he does the dance, but they stabilize it on his head,
Yeah.
and they zoom in.
Yeah,
That's a
No, that's a
awesome
great
shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like That's a really cool look.
Yeah, the way that they kind of had him, all those different little transitions of him, kind of how that he enters into their world or whatever through pictures, and I thought a lot of those cuts were really cool. Like when he comes out of the slide projector, and he's huge.
Yeah,
that was another thing in the movie. They let him on the screen a lot more than I thought they would. Like usually in horror movies, it's the jump scare and then it kind of goes away.
Right.
And he stays in the room, and that was what really freaked me out the most the first time seeing that. Was like you're waiting for it to calm down, and he's still there and freaking him out.
Yeah, I thought what was neat that they did was, I mean, obviously there were some jump scares,
right?
But the scare that wasn't really kind of the horror element of it. It was the suspense and the and the intensity and you felt like some sort of pressure on you whenever he's in there, and it's like they're not getting out, and it's. They drag it on.
I didn't feel it was too scary.
No,
it wasn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
either.
It wasn't. I know some people are afraid of clowns, but I don't think it's something that you're going to be terrified by, The Witch or even Rosemary's Baby. I was more scared with Rosemary's Baby than I was with this, but it was still a very well done horror movie. It was very well done.
Well, so I think something to think about is. Did y'all remember watching you remember watching, and it was too scary for you to watch as a kid?
Yes.
And
still too scary.
The original movie or the original TV series is not scary at all.
It freaked me out more when it's more realistic.
And I think also
person.
But the thing
I think also the cover was scary too. I think that might have been even it.
Blockbuster. You see,
and
I can't watch that.
The fingers, the long alien fingers coming down, and.
I think it's a movie about kids and their fears.
Yeah,
right.
And it is so geared towards terrifying children.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking that was the scariest movie ever as a kid. And so I think maybe kids now will view this the same way. I don't know that, but I have a feeling that if we had seen this movie when we were younger,
right,
sure, it might have that same effect.
Oh, definitely.
How do you guys feel about CGI Pennywise versus practical effects Pennywise?
Because it's more practical.
It's very obvious.
Yeah.
The CGI in this movie was not good, and part of that's because I think it only had a $35 million budget, and so in the next one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a lot more polished.
I like the eyes.
The eyes weren't CGI, or they might have some sort of effect, but
they did a little bit. I think with it rolling around.
But
with how they're glowing.
Yeah,
I like that.
I was watching a thing where there's that first scene with Georgie, where he has one eye looking at Georgie and one eye is looking at the camera.
Ooh,
and
I didn't notice that.
And apparently the director wanted to do a sort of CGI with that.
Yeah,
in mind.
He was able to do it.
Yeah, and Skarsgård's just I can just do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
those Skarsgård boys.
I saw him on a Kimmel. I think it was Kimmel and he was doing that smile. He does that. It's not that's not makeup at all. It's him.
The lips.
The lip thing.
That was the freakiest thing about that clown.
He was drooling and all that, just ugh.
I thought he was really good. I thought his the vocal delivery. I mean, you go into it with the expectation that it's going to be like Tim Curry's, but I thought it was very different in how he spoke, but was still very, very good as far as. Just thinking he's talking to a kid, he's acting like a clown, but it's just still unsettling.
The director's cut, apparently it's going to be 15 minutes longer with an expanded bar mitzvah scene.
Perfect.
That's what we missed.
Hell yeah, the bar mitzvah.
Yes, the Jewish boy will be much better developed.
Yeah, it'll be way more fleshed out. So in chapter 2, it's going to be them
Adults.
27 years later, essentially. So it'll be 2016. Is there any actors that you guys think? I think it's going to be super weird, and I don't see how it's going to work.
Bring Seth Green back. He's old enough.
Kind of
Molly
funny.
Ringwald.
You know what? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God. It's
Ringwald.
like they just cast Molly Ringwald in this movie, and then
know.
they said the joke. I'm like, oh, okay. You meant to do that.
You could do Seth Rogen for the Jewish boy.
You could
give
do
him
that.
a serious role.
It's the clown.
I'd rather Michael Cera for that character, though.
That'd be good.
Spoiler alert,
He dies.
the Jewish boy kills
Well,
himself.
thank you for
as
the
an
spoiler
adult.
cast.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I was expecting you were going to watch the old one.
Michael Cera would be good
3
for
years.
that. Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be old enough though.
Yeah, you're right. That's like they're pretty old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
You can't bring back
45.
the kid who originally
42.
played Billy because he killed himself in real life.
Oh, that's really sad.
yeah. Way
Yeah.
to bring that up, Spence.
Just thought you should know.
Silence.
Moment of silence for Spencer.
For Spencer,
OG Billy.
I don't know.
I thought. What did you guys think about changing or you didn't watch the original, but the original when they're kids, it takes place in the 50s, and when
Right.
they come back to Derry, it's in
I
the
think
80s.
it's nostalgia, though. I mean, it's 27 years, so 30-year difference. I think we talked about this last week, where it's 30 years for something to be nostalgic, and that in 50s was nostalgic. You know,
Right.
that was like retro. That was nostalgia. That was big,
Yeah.
and now it's 80s. So it's all cyclical. I'm fine with that.
I'm just excited for chapter 2. They're gonna have cell phones.
Yeah, cell phones, internet.
They'll-
That would be an
Record 'em
There's
on the
definitely going to be a
iPhone.
scene where the cell phone reception just goes out.
Oh, no.
no. There's down in the sewers. We don't get any
I'm
reception.
not getting
There's-
Wi-Fi. This is the real
There's
horror.
no reception down here too.
Oh God, that'll be the scary part.
Yes.
Oh man, it'll be 2019.
Oh my God! My Apple phone 10 it fell in the sewer. What am I gonna do?
So is that going to be something they have to overcome though as adults? Are they going to be able to see what he's up to?
Look, bro. I gotta take this call. Why don't you just How do they kill the clown anyway? They just like beat him up. I mean, how do you? It seemed like that was a weird way to kill him.
Do you want to know how they?
They just do it again, right?
in the
in
there's
the TV
a-
series.
Orgy, right?
Well, that's
There
not
is
how
an
they
orgy.
kill it, though.
That's how they get out of
the
the
orgy
tunnels.
is they get lost in the tunnels, and in order for them to reform their bond, they all have sex with Bev.
Yeah,
it's not an
which-
orgy. It's just
A gang
a
rape.
gang.
Gang rape.
Yeah,
Gang
basically.
rape.
Not
But
a rape.
she kind of initiates it, but it's still very weird.
Yeah. Also, she's like a fighter.
There's
And
some
in
weird
this-
stuff in.
in the movie. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's just kind of captive, and then oh, she's asleep, and then he kisses her, and she wakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
that?
Bev
was
is much
weird.
more. She's much more of a badass in the TV series.
Mhm. That's weird.
But she's also in this one she has like in this movie she has kind of that stigma or the rumor that she's a slut.
Right.
Dude, she acts very slutty in the TV series. She kisses on like every single one of those boys, and and they do it right back, and they're all cool with it, and it's this weird incestuous relationship they all have with one
They just
another.
all-
Stephen King books are very odd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read a lot of them, but there's like I read Apt Pupil, and that is they have like there's a lot of like wet dream scenes in that book. Like it's weird,
Scenes?
or I guess
Like he
What-
describes them?
yeah, he describes like wet dreams and stuff in that. Like it's weird. Like
Yes.
his books get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
that's
it.
Is that all for it?
I think so. Unless
That's it.
Oh, happy day. What would you give it? How many laughs and halves?
I'd give it. Let's see. I'll give it 2.75 laughs and a half.
Out of 5,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3.5 laughs and halves.
Solid 3.
I'll give it a solid 3 laughs and halves. All right, cool. We laughed and have that. That's great.
I think for what it is,
it's fun. No, I agree with
it's
you.
good.
It's. I don't mean it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. What were you
no,
saying?
I'm just saying for what it is, it's good. It's what you kind of expect and what you want out of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of interested why this
Got so big.
struck a chord.
I think it's what you're talking about. I think everyone our age remembered the cover of that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or saw the movie and remember Tim Curry and all that, and we were like, we want to see the remake. It's scary. We like getting scared. Horror movies. I think it's 80s nostalgia too. It's
Yeah.
I think Stranger Things has a lot to do with it because it kind of looks like Stranger Things. So I think it's a whole lot of, and also not a lot coming out right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
I think it also there was a ton of humor in it, which I wasn't expecting. So I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
that
The kids were funny.
as far as like giving the amount of like positive
Mhm.
feedback it's getting, I think the fact that it gave you a laugh,
Laugh and a half.
that always helps.
Mm-hmm.
There were no laughs to be had in Mother.
Oh no, there weren't. No, there weren't.
I'm going to step out for this since I have not seen Mother.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mother.
Spencer left to go face his fears.
Yeah, he did.
He is inspired by our It conversation.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad.
Yeah, which is good. Mother.
There's a lot of growth in this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. He's had a strong character arc.
Yeah, he has.
But it was time for him to go.
Yeah.
Just like Robb Stark.
Yeah, just like him. So, what did you think the movie was about? Okay, did you know kind of what you were getting into watching it?
I didn't know. I knew very quickly that it was a metaphor, and then I was just trying to find the metaphor and what it was. And because I'm a unwashed, unclean atheist boy, I wasn't too quick on the uptake with it.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, I know what this is. The baby is his movie, and Javier Bardem is the studio, and he's the one who's trying to nurture this baby, and then he goes and he gives it out to the world, and they kill it, and he hates it. And I was like, yeah, I got it. And then
that's a really cool
interpretation.
interpretation.
Right in the movie when
and
we
then
saw
they'll go
Yeah.
and they'll use up all of his like creative power and intellect and all that, and then they'll take his heart or his movies, and there will be some other director inspired by his work after he's been used and abused by the system, and then there'll be the next up and coming person to do it. And I was pretty proud of it, and so I was like, I gotta look and see if anybody had it. And then I read what it was, and I was like,
Wants to be the first.
oh, duh, this is so
biblical.
This is so obvious.
Yeah. That's a really cool interpretation.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's 100% wrong.
But it's, they say everything is right. It's all your opinion. That's
Right.
the only thing that matters. Yeah, so what did you think, Gina, when you saw it?
I had no idea. I was watching it just completely blind,
Mhm.
and I just thought it was another Aronofsky movie, and I was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
I really like everything he's done before, but we walk out of there, and he tells me that, and it made me, the second I could apply something bigger than what was just surface level to it, it made it such a better movie to me. I think that's why audiences aren't liking it.
Right.
Because it's not super apparent in your face. They're like, what's going on?
So I had listened to reviews, some reviews, like of people I like, and I had seen little things here and there, like, oh, it's allegory. It's an allegory.
Right.
Oh, there's a lot of religious metaphors. Then I heard someone say Javier Bardem's God, and then that kind of, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna be about the Bible and God. And so from the start, I kind of knew what was going on. And I enjoyed it knowing that.
Yeah.
I really did. I really liked it. I think this is a movie you almost have to be spoiled to like the movie.
I think,
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that afterwards I had a much greater appreciation for it than I did watching it the first time. And I enjoyed, kind of trying to figure it out. But the way they did it and the way they were able to make it into something that you could take it at surface level, even if it would be like wild and crazy and weird, I thought was really cool and really interesting and really well done.
Because, and I was wondering, like, okay, what if I didn't know that? Would I understand it? Or would I comprehend it the same way? Because it seemed like
I walked out of there really frustrated.
Yeah.
Because there's parts of it I enjoyed through the movie, but then I was getting to points where I was like, what is happening? This is unraveling.
like the war zone. And,
yeah. I was like, I'm tired of watching this.
Yeah.
And then the second I started finding out, like, first off, Adam's idea, and then finding out, reading later about the biblical stuff, I was like, oh, never mind. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So we can maybe kind of go into the beats of it.
Yeah.
So it begins with pretty much the end. It's all cyclical. So it's Javier Bardem. It's someone on fire. It's not Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep.
It's someone else on fire. And Javier Bardem puts the crystal on the little mantelpiece, and everything comes
fixes.
back to normal. And then Jennifer Lawrence rises in the bed, and she like is formed. And then it goes there in this house. He has writer's block. they're in paradise. So that's obviously, the Garden of Eden.
Yep.
And 2 people come in, and that's
one person.
one
comes-
person, Adam.
And so it's introduced, and
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, who in this movie is Mother Earth.
Yes.
She's never seen outside of
God.
outside of the house, which is where it is, and so then Ed Harris comes and kind of shakes things up.
Yeah.
He's interested in what he has to say.
Yeah.
Interested in the forbidden fruit, which is the little crystal.
And did you notice the scar on his rib?
Yep.
Or where his rib would be? Yeah.
Yep.
It's a weird movie because it's like, I feel like there's so many oddities that don't make sense if you're just watching this as a straight narrative.
Right.
But once you see it in that light, it makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Which is, I understand why people hate it. I don't, but again,
Yeah.
so then Michelle Pfeiffer comes.
Yep.
And she is Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, she's up to no good, that Eve.
Yeah. She's the temptress.
She is the temptress. And they go upstairs and they break the crystal, which is the forbidden fruit.
Yep.
But it also kind of represents his love, or Javier Bardem, God's love, kind of too, or I don't know, because
his heart breaks his heart.
Yeah, it's a weird. It kind of does two. It plays kind of 2 parts.
It's the story. He lets him in the Garden of Eden. He says, the only thing is just
Don't touch that.
Don't touch the forbidden fruit.
And they touch it.
They do it,
and it
so then
breaks.
he casts them out.
And they have sex in the bedroom because now they are sinners. And they have sex. I kind of took it that way, like, and then their sons come, Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel come in.
Yeah,
those Gleason boys.
Those Gleason boys. They're not up to no good all the time, doing all that Star Wars stuff, and helping out. What's his name with the cartel? Oh God, I hate it when I forget names all the time. That movie that's coming out with
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah, helping Tom Cruise out with the cartel. That joke didn't work.
Nope.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so after that, more people come to the house. There's a whole gathering at the house, which kind of represents more people coming onto the earth.
It's religion.
Yes, religion. Now, why was Michelle Pfeiffer so pissed off at Jennifer Lawrence? Because I didn't get that. Why she was so pissed off after they came back from the hospital. After I guess one of the kids, the son killed the other son.
Right.
But she was like really antagonizing. Maybe that's another story in the Bible. I don't know. But she did not like Jennifer Lawrence.
I think that's more of a surface level move.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's necessarily a greater metaphor to that. But then the house gets filled with people, and they all come, and then there's the different kind of, everybody has a different characteristic sort of thing, of different sort of sin.
People are that's kind of comes later when people are stealing things, but people are just wrecking the place, and it's sort of what people do to Earth, to Mother Earth, and they just wreck the place. They just they destroy the resources, and then the couple were just on the little on the sink, and they're just, hey, don't do that, and they're just hitting it, and it breaks, and then there's a flood, the Great Flood.
Yep.
So pretty
Close
much he remade Noah.
Right.
Yeah. He redid that movie. And so there's a great flood, and she's like, you don't want to have sex with me, have a baby, and then they have a
Jesus is born.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, is it Jesus or is it? Because it's obviously Jesus, but it kind of also plays as, it could be interpreted as one of our resources, one of Earth's resources, one of Earth's gifts that we abuse and consume, because it kind of acts as that as well.
Well, they eat the baby.
They do eat the baby,
the body of
Christ.
But I know. But the thing is, though, it feels like, because this whole thing feels like it's an environmental message, and Jesus doesn't really go into that environmental message.
Well, it's a larger biblical story.
I guess I know it does definitely represent Christ, but I think it could represent some other things too, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so they make a baby, she gets pregnant, and she becomes really pregnant, and then Javier Bardem, oh no, actually, wait a minute, what was the timeline? When he writes the poem or the story?
That's
It's as she's pregnant.
As she's pregnant.
She wakes up. She's like, "I'm pregnant. I
Yeah,
know
okay.
I am." And then he miraculously can write again.
He can write again. And what universe is this where a poet becomes like world famous?
Yeah, that's what. Watching it surface level, I was like, "Come on."
Yeah,
but
this super
no
rad
one
poet.
cares.
Yeah,
about
it's supposed to
poets.
be, I guess, his word, and that's everyone getting indoctrinated. Into
that's the New Testament, correct? What do you write? Is it or is it the Old Testament?
I
Because
think it would have to be new.
but nothing like the Old Testament happened, and then he writes the Old Testament. So I don't know, because it just I don't know. It might be both. It could be both.
He writes some form of biblical literature, and he gets everybody back in the house.
And everyone comes in, then it just turns into
rowdy as hell.
That's when people are stealing.
Kristen Wiig's
there.
What's her purpose in this?
She was shooting people in the head. I saw with a buddy of mine.
Straight up execute.
Yeah. I saw with a buddy of mine, and he brought up kind of a cool point that when they were stealing the things from the house, I was like the Holy Land. Like they were taking pieces of the Holy Land, like what's going on in the Middle East. So it's like holy wars and stuff like that.
Well, what's this? Is it Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities where they're all going crazy and then they end up getting uber punished for all that? Yeah.
It's like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
It turns into a war zone randomly, and there's army people, so it's like World War I, World War II. And then, or I don't know. I mean, it's weird. And then they lock themselves in the room, and she gives birth to Jesus, or whoever, and they're there for days, because they were there for like a few hours because like he wanted to take the baby out into the people, and even before that, I remember there was actually a line she said after the first group of guests left. After the flood, she goes, I'm getting ready for the apocalypse, looking at so that was kind of telling.
Yep.
And so they're in the room, she gives birth, and people are out there waiting for Javier Bardem because they're obsessed with him now. They have people who are priests, giving, they're putting the stuff on their forehead, and it's very much Catholicism. It's a lot of Catholic imagery, and with the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, and the communion and all that. So he comes out with the baby, and the baby gets devoured by everybody. And
his neck snaps.
Yes,
I didn't like that
no,
one bit.
No, that was disturbing.
Yeah.
And then the just the blood and just the guts in there, and then and then they start beating up Jennifer Lawrence or Mother Earth,
Yep.
And then people are like, then I think the most telling part. This is when I turn to my buddy. I'm like, oh, this is so on the nose. When he says we need to forgive these people, maybe this will be, maybe we need to forgive them, and that's like, Jesus gave us for our sins, and so. Mother Earth, she's like, hell no, I'm not going to forgive these people. And she starts a great fire and blows up everything, and she becomes, a dust person, and then he renews it. Just starts all over again.
Which is a very Eastern religion.
Yeah.
Sort of look at it, where, I mean, he doesn't really care because he can just create a new world.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool how they put that together.
Knowing that after the fact adds so much to that movie.
Yeah. And I had a point for I forgot it though. I guess, I mean,
okay. It's shot super uncomfortably. Spencer talked about how it was uncomfortable. Mother is so much more uncomfortable. It's always from Jennifer Lawrence's perspective, always very tight on her, and just so much of just kind of like annoyance and just kind of twisting it, and it's like, okay, so now they're not doing what she says, they're not doing what she does, and it does a great job of just like making you super frustrated.
Yes.
And the house, like, it's sort of a part of her because you keep seeing the blood and the heart beating.
Yeah, she has those moments where she kind of wargs into the house.
What was the yellow stuff?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
People have speculated that it's like sunlight, and it's a lot of things. That's something that a lot of people are talking about, trying to figure out what exactly that is. I read an interview with Darren Aronofsky. He said that one of his major influences for this movie was The Giving Tree.
Okay.
Which
makes sense.
I think is very apt, I would say. I think it's just a really well done, interesting, auteur, high budget movie that no one is going to get and that everyone's going to kind of hate that goes to see it.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. So I thought this movie was horribly marketed. I thought the trailers were extremely misleading, and I don't think it's weird because I guess the studios are like, well, a movie about the Bible isn't going to sell. An allegory about the Bible. But it's like, I feel like it's such a cool movie if you know that.
I think they originally marketed it because a lot of the Aronofsky stuff doesn't really attract the mainstream.
Right.
This is so big budget. I think they're like, if we push this out as a horror movie, you'll get all those people around Halloween that are wanting to go see something like that. You'll get in cast a wider net of people that'll come see it, and maybe you get more people going to his movies in the future. But I think this is the bad one to do that with.
Yeah.
I also think that this is what Aronofsky wanted. Like, he
really
kind of willfully makes it not
super
like he doesn't lay it out exactly what everything is, even in his own thing. So in order to have some sort of advertisement that would do that,
sure,
I think it would be.
But I think this is fairly straightforward once you figure it out,
right?
Because it's not like what's the one that came out a few years ago that was with Brad Pitt, Tree of Life. Like, because people are talking about this is pretentious. I don't think Tree of Life was pretentious, but I think that's more on the side of that than this. Because I don't know. I don't think this is pretentious. Well, I think it's.
I remember when Black Swan came out, and they marketed that as kind of like a
horror too.
Kind of a horror, but also you kind of get the gist of it's going to be the story of Swan Lake, and you kind of understand that. And I would have been fine if they kind of hinted at some of the plot line with this. It's just like, I remember hearing radio commercials, you'll never forget the first time you saw Mother. It kind of sounded psycho-ish. Where it was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be the movie that everyone's talking about the first time they saw. Yeah. And they are, but it's I don't think
not for
what
the right
they
reasons.
expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Rotten Tomatoes fans gave it 42%, critics gave it 68%.
And I know the cinema score, which is I guess that's when they go and get actual people coming out of the theaters, it got an F. So, like, people are hating it.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily surprised, just because it's a difficult sort of thing. I had a friend of mine who called Aronofsky, and I think it works pretty well. He called him the Stephen King of film, where it's like a lot of good ideas just packaged in with a lot of other kind of wacky and weird stuff, to where there's some things that you can pull from it and you can hold it up and say, hey, this is really cool, this is really interesting, but you're also getting ass to ass. And like,
I always refused to cut the scene.
Jerry Jones is every time I see Jerry Jones, I think of ass to ass guy. It's terrible because that's what I thought he looked like, the ass to ass guy.
It's just,
you get a lot of weird stuff. You get Fountain, which whatever that was.
Take it a little too far.
Yeah, yeah, he does. It was a little Lars von Trier in a way.
Yeah. I can totally see that.
Yeah. And that sounds like a really pretentious thing to say, too. But just really fucked up, kind of.
I think he wants the shock value, though, and I think he wants to be the guy that's not afraid to do ass to ass.
Right.
But
definitely.
At the same time, I think it almost takes away sometimes, because that's all I remember from Requiem for a Dream for the first, like, 3 times I saw that.
Or the injection into the wound. Like, that's
that was hard, too. Yeah, just that imagery, but...
Pi was really good. Pi did have the lobotomy at the end. Never mind.
Casual lobotomy.
Yeah, casual lobotomy.
I loved The Wrestler.
I didn't ever see The Wrestler.
The Wrestler is so great.
Okay.
It does have him sticking his thumb into a globe slicer, which is just like awful.
It's Aronofsky for you. You know, Aronofsky was supposed to direct an episode of Lost?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was the in season 2, the question mark episode where Echo and Locke go and find the other Dharma station.
Oh.
Yes.
Did you know that he wanted Joaquin Phoenix to play Batman?
Really?
Yeah, he was being talked about to be the new Batman director.
Oh,
he was like, I
yeah.
want Joaquin Phoenix to be Batman.
Well, it would be pretty easy because if Batman has a hair lip, who else has a... Oh, Bruce Wayne has a hair lip. Well, there we go. It's Batman. It's Bruce Wayne.
Busted.
Anyway, this movie, it was great. I thought it was great, you guys. Yeah, it's too bad that fans or people, general moviegoers, aren't liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I definitely see why. And I think I must have kind of going into it knowing kind of what it was. It's sort of like obvious to me, but it obviously isn't obvious.
Right.
You guys, you didn't, completely understand it. You had that's a really cool interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And I know people have a lot of different interpretations of it. Like people have been talking about how it's about fandom, like crazy fans and art, like being an artist. I almost saw it as sort of is agoraphobia, the where you don't go outside.
That's fear of crowds, yeah.
Oh, yeah, agoraphobia a little with Jennifer Lawrence's character.
Mm-hmm.
Because like she just hates people. All she wants to be is at that house with Harvey or Bardem. She doesn't want to be anywhere else but there.
Yep.
I kind of saw it as that, kind of about relationships and kind of falling apart. There's a lot of things you could take out of it, and so I could see why people, just going into it, didn't appreciate it or like it or get it. I don't know. Is that an issue with marketing? Is that an issue with the director? Is that an issue with audiences? Or what's the, I guess?
I think it's it's some of all of it, I guess, which seems like a cheap way out. But it's probably too big of a budget movie for what it ended up being, for something that I think is kind of outwardly...
It's very personal.
Yeah. It's kind of like pushes back against an audience and expects things of them that movies these days don't generally force their audience. They don't challenge their audience in that sort of respect, which again sounds super pretentious. It's a pretentious movie.
Yeah, it's pretentious, but I guess when I was saying pretentious, I mean like it's not he didn't just throw a bunch of stuff in the screen and said it's art. It was like it had a point to it, I thought. It's not
going to make any money.
No.
And I don't think he cares about that.
No.
And he got Jennifer Lawrence out of it.
That's his wife, right?
Is his girlfriend.
Girlfriend, okay, yeah.
He was married to Rachel Weisz, right?
Okay.
Yeah. They have a kid together.
So, and then during shooting of this, he started dating Jennifer Lawrence.
What scene do you think they kind of started getting together? What scene do you think happened?
Oh, I think before even shooting.
All right.
I think something was going on before.
It wasn't the scene where she was getting just bludgeoned on the ground and then they met eyes.
He saw that boobie and he was like, "Ooh."
I think when she started breastfeeding, I turned to my buddy and just gave him the high five, like idiots, like yeah, getting that breastfeeding scene.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
I give it.
Do you have any questions or any comments on anything you noticed at all? Or?
I think I've been saying lots of them.
Oh. Well, I know. I don't want to like miss anything. If you had anything else,
Jennifer Lawrence never wears shoes.
Ooh,
in that movie, which is it's like an innocence and vulnerability thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never goes outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get past the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
All the different plagues are hinted at. There's the locust, there's the frog, there's...
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Flood,
I saw the flood, yeah. The frog, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Cool. Well, what do you give it?
I think I'd give it 3. I mean, I don't give it any labs
and halves.
But I would give it like a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an interesting, cool movie. That doesn't necessarily make it super exciting. I think it's really well shot. I think that it's super Aronofsky.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 is above average.
Mm-hmm.
Without any context, I'd probably, walking out of that theater, I probably would have given it a 2.5. But after hearing some of the different theories and you realize it's actually more than what it seems, I'd probably give it about 3.5.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it about 3.5 as well. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to recommend. But I would say, hey, if you like a movie like that, I'd go see it.
Yeah, you'd have to be very specific with who
Yes.
you recommend it to.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's
I don't know. His
part
movies,
of the problem with it.
It depends for me. Like, if it's a good Aronofsky movie for me and it sits with me and it like eats at me and I think about it a ton, I'll go watch it several times. I've seen Black Swan several times. I've seen Requiem for a Dream several times. I've seen Wrestler, I think, once.
Have you ever seen The Fountain?
No, I haven't seen The Fountain.
I saw it. I saw it I had a brownie. I don't ever eat brownies. And I saw it, and I don't know if it was that I was high or that it was just a weird movie.
Yeah, I think The Fountain is probably the most comparable Aronofsky movie to this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, compared to this one, I probably won't watch this again.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not sitting with me the way other ones do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. You want to do some Twitter questions?
Let's do it.
Before we take off this very long podcast. Oh, man, we're almost to 2 hours.
Well,
I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me get this stuff up here. Oh, my God. All right. So, we're going to start with Chris the Fields.
Okay.
He has 3 questions. He asks, "Hey, Trey and Adam and Gina, may we please have a moment of silence for the Hang Zone?" Paul and, okay. Chris the Fields asks, "Hey, Trey and Adam, what are some must-watch films for a person who is not familiar with the medium?" So, like, what movie would you recommend?
So for someone who's never
Never
seen
seen
a
a
movie?
movie?
Hey, you know Margot? She doesn't watch movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm thinking of making a list for her of movies to watch.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain's a good one.
I'd say Goodfellas. I'd say maybe Indiana Jones, Star Wars, some like old pulp action movies or pulp adventure films like that, like Jaws, like anything from Spielberg. You know? Yeah.
Spielberg movies would be really easy to take in. Yeah, Jaws would be good. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park's a good one.
I think would be a good movie. Maybe like a Toy Story.
Yeah, Pixar, Disney in general would be
Princess
good.
Bride, if you want to understand quotes from anybody.
Mm-hmm. Princess Bride's good. I'd even say if you want to get a little more actiony or go like Predator or go. I'd even say maybe even some Tarantino, like just Reservoir Dogs would be kind of a cool.
I think Tarantino's fun because it's kind of a departure from other movies, and I think you'd kind of have to have a frame of reference, because I think it could be kind of a movie
lover's movie.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of a weird thing to see things all kinds of out of order and stuff, and it's cool if you watch a bunch of movies, but I think to someone new it could be kind of off-putting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Trying to think. Probably nothing by Kubrick. No.
I think things that would be just kind of general and straightforward, like a Die Hard, or something.
Any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, I'd say. Pretty much anything he does, just like general kind of popcorn flicks. Yeah. Anyway, or just look at like AFI list of 100 best movies and go down the list. You know,
but
do that
if
too.
you're starting at that, then you're watching Citizen Kane, and that's not.
No, you don't want to watch Citizen Kane. I'd say Indiana Jones would be probably a good place to start, or Star Wars.
I think Indiana Jones is a very good call. I think that's a very movie.
Or Jaws, yeah. Trey and Adam and Gina, what's for breakfast? That's by Chris the Fields as well.
A banana.
Huh.
Cereal, always.
I like egg and bacon and cheese taquito.
Oh, fancy.
I'm a tubby tub.
Do you make them yourself, or do you
I go to Whataburger, bruh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're rich.
I'm not rich. I'll never go there.
Money bags.
Yeah. Lexi asks, since it is supposed to be what you're most afraid of, what would it appear to you as?
Just what it appears to for all guys. Commitment.
Oh!
Ha ha ha. I don't know what I'm most afraid of. Like, if it's a physical thing, it's probably close to a freaking clown.
Yeah, mine would be the existential fear of dying alone and never being loved. Next question. Lexi asks, which Jurassic Park is the best Jurassic Park?
The first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one.
Not even close.
Chris Gross asks, it expanded universe, but he is hunting characters from Shrek.
Okay. So Shrek's biggest fear
is being alone in the swamp.
Draining the swamp.
It's the opposite. He wants
people.
He wants everybody out of the swamp.
Yeah,
He's living.
That's just discovery. He's an onion. He has layers.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. You okay? What would Donkey's biggest fear be?
Not being able to talk. He loves talking.
He does. Donkey. What about Princess Fiona?
Being stuck in that tower.
Yeah. What about Lord Farquaad?
Being alone.
Yeah. What about the gingerbread man?
Losing them buttons.
What would the Three Little Pigs be? Three Little Pigs don't get enough play, I think.
They're just dancing around.
Yeah.
In World War II.
Okay. They are German. Lexi
saying.
says, Trey, I swear to God, if you don't like Jurassic Park, I do like Jurassic Park. Why would you think I didn't like Jurassic Park?
You seem like a Jurassic Park hater.
I know. I must feel that. And Lexi finally asks, is Frogger the best video game ever? Because this is the FilmsCast.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this podcast. I really appreciate you staying up and being on this podcast. I know you guys want to leave. So yeah, thanks a lot, Gina. Where can they find you on? Do you have anything like YouTube or Twitter
No, I
or
do
anything,
not.
or just a ghost?
I'm a ghost.
You're a
Try
ghost.
and find me.
Ooh, Adam, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at the Fullerton,
Oh,
and you can find me this Friday at the Dallas Comedy House performing with Watermelon at 7 p.m. I'm also performing on Sunday in the King of the Mountain
okay.
competition
Okay.
with my group Good Morning Tonight.
All right, very cool. I might go to one of those since I got to go to two of them.
It's true.
Yeah, I got to go to 2 shows, so I'll probably be there. Thanks again for listening. Please leave us a comment on iTunes. Please let us know what you think. Thanks everyone for listening. I'm at CrayTreyVids on Twitter, and thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye. It's called a road. It's called the Rainbow Road. It is a road that you go. It is a road. It's called the Rainbow Road. And we will know when you get there. It's called a road. It's called the Rainbow Road. It is a road that you go. It's a road that you go when you die. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's got Princess Peach, Mario, and Toad. It's a road called Rainbow Road. It's a road we're all gonna go. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I'm with you again, Uncle. It's Rainbow Road. It's where you go when you die. It's Rainbow Road. I miss you again, Uncle. Oh, Rainbow Road. Where did you learn the song? It's called the road. It's called the Rainbow Road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road. It's called the Rainbow Road.
What's that song from?
And you will.
Rainbow Road. I mean.